Hello everyone, this is M2quared. I wanted to put together a little introduction video, tell you a little something about myself and why I've put this channel together. Give you an opportunity to get to know me a little bit. This is only my second video that I've done for the channel. I'm not actually going to release it on live.warthunder. It's just going to be kind of buried in my uploads. Maybe some of the subscribers that come at later days will want to go back through the archives and learn a little something about me. So here goes. Um, the reason for the channel, the reason why I'm doing this in the first place, well, there's quite a few of them actually. Um, I started playing War Thunder a little over a year ago, and was getting better at the game. And I found some YouTube channels, some of the ones out there that were really putting out a lot of content, and I got a lot of good things out of it. It helped my gameplay quite a bit, and I just thought, the more perspectives, the more you know pilots you can observe and everything, the better it is. And sometimes they're wildly entertaining. I hope to add at least a little bit of a chuckle for you here and there throughout the broadcasts. But, it's entertainment, and I hope you enjoy the gameplay and learn from my mistakes. I intend to show some my mistakes as well, not just the really awesome games that I had. Um, I think it's a great game. I want to promote it to others, so a little bit of more visibility out there in the YouTube world wouldn't be a bad thing. More people, more better. I, the more people involved with the game, the faster the queues are, the more people you have an opportunity to squad with. Growing the game is a good thing, and growing the game brings money to the developers, which then hopefully they can spend to improve the game as well. Um, I noticed that I had, War Thunder has that little thing where you can link your Facebook account, and then it will go into your Facebook account and check all of your contacts to see if you have any friends that are also playing War Thunder. And I've got 888 Facebook friends. I got a lot of people that I'm connected to. And I was so disappointed because you know how many of my friends play War Thunder? Yeah, that's right. Zero. Out of 888 people, none of them play War Thunder. So I have no friends in this game. I've made some in the meantime, and squatting has been really fun. I was hoping that this channel would improve the uh, ability to find good squad mates and people to have fun with. So feel free, add me to your friends list. Hit me up. I do arcade battles for the most part. If you're into arcade battles, I'm not that I won't actually go in realistic every now and then, but I'm happy to squad with any if I've got time. I'm happy to squad with anybody if I'm not already in a full squad. So just let me know. The name is M2quared, M2QARED, just like it is in the channel. Find me on War Thunder. Um, but probably one of the other reasons too, and this is why I just kind of have a, hey, this is my personal project and I'm going to put up whatever I want. There's no real motivation here. I'm not trying to get like free swag or, get to be an alpha tester on something or get some kind of YouTube celebrity. This is an exercise for me because I've always been an audio guy, recording, musician, live sound. I know quite a bit about that, but I've got some other projects that I'm working on in my life that I'd like to improve some of my video chops as well. So video is something that is really new to me. It's kind of voodoo, and I'd like to demystify it a little bit. So I figured I'd put up some rough, raw videos and practice a little bit with you guys, doing something that I have fun with, put the videos up, and hopefully increase in my skills as far as the presentation of these videos and how they look and how they sound and how they all go together to make a little bit better production. These are the first couple videos, so expect that they're going to suck, and that's okay as long as they have the promise of getting better. Um, about me personally, my given name is Michael. I'm 41 years old. Probably a little bit different than some of the other gamers that are out there having their own channels and doing all this footage of the different games because I'm not really a gamer. I like a video game sometimes. War Thunder has really kind of sucked me in for a number of reasons. I mean, I have a great appreciation for aircraft in general. I love airplanes and any air show that I can get to. I love World War II history. You put those two things together, and you've got a flight simulator game where you can actually, hop in the virtual cockpit of some of these planes. Um, that was really what I was interested in. It really kind of hooked me. But before that, I mean, growing up, we actually had a Pong. Look it up if you don't know what that is. It was one of the first sort of set-top video games that you could play in your home. It was very basic. There were like three games that you could play. It was a big dial that you turned to select the game, but it was all really just lines and a ball going. Anyways, had a Pong. I realized I probably privileged that way. I think it fell off a truck and my dad picked it up or something like I'm not sure if he even got it. It probably cost hundreds of dollars, and my parents were too stingy for that shit for just, a video game. So not really sure how we came across it, but we had it and I had fun with it. A few years later for Christmas, we got an Atari 2600. I played all the classic games, just like wore myself out on Pitfall and Frogger and Burger Time and Pac-Man and Ms. Pac-Man and Space Invaders and all the games that were out there. I played them quite a bit, and I was in grade school at the time. Um, got really into it. You could have probably called me a gamer then. I had friends of the family with a Commodore 64, a friend up the street who had an Apple IIc or 2E, had a lot of great games on there that I like to play. Activision, ColecoVision, um, you know, all of the game consoles that sort of boomed out at that time. And then, of course, now some of you younger kids may not realize this, but to play video games, you used to actually go somewhere called a video arcade. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm not going to patronize you anymore with that, but um, way too many quarters at the video arcades. I was a young kid, trouble causing. I was like, if there were like skate rats, back in the day, that would have been me. I was just the kid hanging out at the movie theater, plunking quarters in, causing trouble, whatever. So yeah, I was a real pain in the butt. But I played an awful lot of video games, those big console video games, and they put them all in one room. You just go and you play, you know, Punch Out and Dig Dug and Tempest and all those classic games. I played them all. I loved a lot of those games. So uh, I always had, a lot of exposure to video games and I had a lot of love for them. But then there was kind of this lull, and I don't know, it was somewhere like late grade school, somewhere in middle school and even in high school. I just kind of stopped playing video games. I'm not exactly sure why. I mean, maybe I was too into being cool or chasing girls or something like that. I don't know, but I missed a lot during that time and just kind of lost interest in video games. But then a friend of mine, a bandmate of mine actually, we used to practice over at his house all the time. He had a Sega Genesis, and that was the shiznit, man. That was the cutting edge. And I really enjoyed some of those games, and he got me hooked on NHL hockey. I think the year was 93. It was probably 92. But we had like NHL hockey 93, and we just played and played and played. And it was great. I loved that game. I'd laugh if I saw it right now. Um, he had a much better PC than I did, so he got into some PC gaming and introduced me to some of that. The big one that he introduced me to was Civilization. Loved that game. Played the crap out of that. Um, but also Aces of the Pacific, and I went and bought a copy for myself. And that was one of the earlier flight sim games out there. And I was playing that a long time ago. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Couldn't get enough of that game. If I saw, I was looking, I saw a screenshot of it. I was like, really? I used to play that? You look at War Thunder and how beautiful it is and how modern games are rendered so well with all the realism and the detail. This was just silly, but I had a blast with it at the time. It was state of the art. We also used to play a lot of Axis and Allies, the board game. This is, an interest in the World War II era and the politics and the factors that fascinate me, how that war started and how it ended and how it had repercussions for decades and decades to come, and we're still feeling some of those. So we played Axis and Allies a lot, late at night, big spreads, custom things. I mean, we really got into it. Had an amazing amount of fun with that, with just a board game with little plastic pieces that we moved around. Kind of like Risk, except, a little bit. I loved Risk too, but, this was a little bit more complex than that, and it had a topic that spoke to me a little bit more. Then Hasbro actually introduced basically it was a Axis and Allies board game, but put into a video game. So it had little, basically moving pieces around the screen, just like you would if you were playing with your friends, and you could connect to other people through the internet. And man, I played that. I played that up until recently, and there's a free copy out there somewhere because I think it's kind of abandonware. Like it, somebody had to like rewrite the code or something to get it to run on some modern computers because it was really designed for like Windows 95 or Windows 3.1 or something. Still love it. Might even include some footage of that sometime. Show you the game if you haven't seen it before. It's really, really kind of cool. Um, I prefer those turn-based strategy games, though. We're talking about, Civilization and Risk and Axis and Allies. I like some time to think and execute the move, and then it's your turn, and then you do your thing. I've always been into that, kind of like chess. Chess is a turn-based strategy game as well. But then I started getting also into point-and-click adventures, which started with Myst, probably. I think that was the one that got me hooked. Got immersed in that game, loved the gameplay, the whole family of games, the sequels. Um, I went and bought a whole bunch of different ones. It was Phantasmagoria, The Dark Eye, Seventh Guest, Grim Fandango, and probably one of my favorite video games still of all time, point and click adventure called The Neverhood. It wasn't really all that popular as far as I know. Some of you might know what I'm talking about. Was fantastic claymation animated game, and I played it not really all that long ago. Again, I just kind of went through it and loved it just as much as I did the first time that I played it. Forgot most of it, which was helpful because then the game was kind of new to me again. But that was cool. After that, another lull. Not really sure what happened there. I kind of stopped playing video games, and there was this explosion of console games, and I kind of missed out on all that, and that was fine. It wasn't anything that I was particularly longing for at the time. I was busy doing other things. But what I noticed is that PC gaming really took off, and they had these, adventure fantasy games, EverQuest, World of Warcraft, and yeah, other, Counter Strike. There were all of these sort of massive multiplayer games that I didn't really. I saw them and they appealed to me, and I thought that I would really, really like them. But that was the problem because all of my friends around me started talking in World of Warcraft terms, and I thought it sounded stupid, and they were just so into this, like so glazed over from hours and hours of playing. And it seemed like some of them kind of lost a grip, letting things go in their life that they shouldn't be, ignoring their loved ones and just spending all their time on their computer. And I know what kind of personality I have when I'm getting into a video game. I get into it, and I was afraid that that would happen. I actually purposefully stayed away from those games for fear that I would like them, and then suddenly I would be like those kids on South Park who played World of Warcraft for like 2 weeks straight and didn't bathe or anything, and they've got the bucket under their chair, and mom brings them hot pockets. Didn't want to turn into that. Had no interest in that. Um, there are a lot of other hobbies like that too that I don't really, I think they look fun and interesting, but that's the problem. So golf, people say, you want to golf? No, I don't want to golf. Well, come on, it's fun. I know, it probably is fun. That's the problem because then I have to buy all the best equipment if I really get into the game. I got to spend all my money on green fees. I got to travel because, of course, you can't just play on the golf courses near you. You got to go to all these exotic places to try out their golf courses. Um, and time, you're just spending all your time out on the greens. So scuba diving, same way. Skiing, same way. All those I just say no to. And World of Warcraft was one of those. So I just kind of, that whole thing just passed me by. One thing I did pick up in all of this, watching other people play games, is that I'm not really into first person shooters. There was a whole glut of these games that were coming out all at the same time. And I'm, besides, I'm being crap at them actually, because I think, as many video games as I played and as into it as I was when I was younger, they're, lo-fi and kind of slow paced and stuff. And I just don't feel like, maybe I'm too old for these twitchy reflexes. I mean, sometimes just watching some of the gameplay, it's like epilepsy coming over me, just all kinds of craziness. I'm not cut out for it. I'm not particularly into the violence and the gore of it. The idea of, immersing myself into a soldier or a mass murderer or something like that doesn't really appeal to me. So I usually stay away from the first person shooters. And I doubt you'll see really any gameplay from those types of games on this channel. What you might find is a lot of War Thunder, and I'm now that I'm plugged a little bit back in here, paying attention to how some of the development's going with some of these games, I would like to find some of these point and click adventures that I missed out on while I was asleep at the wheel these last few years before I got into War Thunder and I was avoiding video games for fear of getting sucked in. There were some gems in there that I missed, so I might go back and show you some gameplay. It might be old hat to you, but again, it's my channel. I put up what I want. I'm just having fun with it. If you like it, great. If you don't, well, it's my channel. Sorry to say. So, War Thunder is kind of weird for me. I mean, being a flight sim, that's great, and I've been into flight simulators before, but really at its essence, it is a shooter. It's, and it does require some twitchy reflexes sometimes, maybe a little bit slower paced. I don't find it overwhelming. So that's kind of an anomaly, but it's probably because of my interest in the planes and the era that I get so much out of it. I learn a lot in War Thunder. I learn a lot. I've learned more about these planes rather than just, watching wings and dogfights all the time on TV and gobbling up whatever documentary I could find on it. I have really learned a lot. Now that they have tanks in the game, tanks were never an interest of mine, but learning a lot about tanks too, and it's all good. It's all good. War Thunder is probably not typically if I play other games, they're probably not going to be much like War Thunder. I like the turn-based strategy games. I like the point-and-click adventures. But mostly it's going to be War Thunder because, hey, it is a really cool game. That's what I'm mostly into right now. And that's probably what you signed up to see. So we'll try and bring you some of that content. The other thing I really like about War Thunder is that I didn't have to invest a whole lot of money into a big setup. I don't have a big gaming rig. Again, I'm not a gamer. So I don't have this big, behemoth system. I was actually playing until recently. I did buy myself a new laptop here lately, but for the first year and a few months that I was playing this game, I was playing on kind of a business laptop with integrated graphics. Nothing special, just kind of your average laptop. And I couldn't run it on high settings or movie settings or anything like that. But it looked great, man. The game is, kudos to Gaijin. They have really created a beautiful game that even if you have to dumb it down for your slow-ass video card or your old computer, you can have fun with it and it still looks great. So that was another reason why I kind of got into War Thunder, because, hey, I can do this with what I already have. I don't have to go buy a whole bunch of expensive stuff. So, again, what to expect? Mostly War Thunder. Some new games from time to time. There are some new titles out there that look like they might be interesting to me. I'm not really interested in Unturned. I wasn't interested in Daisy. The Forest looks like something I might be able to get into, so I might try that at some point. Some horror sort of point-and-click games. Now that I'm kind of a little bit better plugged in than I was, years ago, maybe I can bring you something new that you haven't seen before. But you may end up with a bunch of stuff that's 3 years old that you've already been through, been there, done that, don't really care. That's okay. Don't unsubscribe. Just skip over the video and pretend it wasn't there. So that's about it for my hopes for the channel. I'll tell you a little bit about me. My given name is Michael. I think, did I mention that? I don't know. I live in Louisville, Kentucky. I don't talk like I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. Well, actually, they say Louisville. Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville. It's like 2 syllables. They all just kind of, it's like they got a bunch of marbles in their mouth. I say Louisville because I'm not actually from Louisville. I was imported from somewhere else. Just don't say Louisville, because that's actually wrong. It was named for King Louis the 16th. King Louis, Louisville, right. But the people around here just get lazy with it. Little Kentucky. Famous for the Kentucky Derby, of course, the Louisville Slugger baseball bats. Muhammad Ali comes from Louisville. We have a lot of other things that we're really proud of. Supposedly, we invented the cheeseburger as well. I don't know about that. Kind of sounds suspect to me, but a lot of things that you probably don't care about. But love it here, having a good time. Not from here. Before, I lived in Buffalo, which brings me to the next facet of my personality that I am a hockey fan, and specifically a Buffalo Sabres hockey fan, which I know is unfortunate right now because they really suck. But still a fan. Not really interested in other sports, which is kind of a tab that could actually get you punched in the face around here if you tell them that you don't care about college sports. We got the UK Wildcats next door in Lexington. We got the U of L Cardinals here. College sports are kind of a religion around here. Um, let's see about me. Caffeine, nicotine, chocolate junkie. That's what I'm into. Like that's most of what I ingest all the time. Not tied down, ladies. Still available. Mm, mm, mm. Uh, who am I kidding, right? And I just thought it would be fun. This was a little thing that a small group of us were doing where it's called Two Lies and a Truth. I'd tell you three things. One of them is true. The other two are not. And you try to decide which one. So I thought that might be a fun thing, maybe get a little feedback. I can tell if people watch this video to the end or if they just kind of breezed through it and said, it's just some dude talking with some War Thunder gameplay all around him. So with this, I will close. But the first statement is my first, middle, and last names all contain exactly 7 letters. True? Maybe? I don't know. The second statement. I once met O.J. Simpson and he shook my hand with his black leather gloves on. Hmm? Maybe that one's true. What do you think? I have lived in 10 different U.S. states in my life. Maybe, maybe not. Anyways, those are the 3. Put it in the comments what you think. I hope you enjoyed this little getting to know you video. I'm not going to publish it really anywhere. I'm just going to shove it in the back, and if people want to dig it up after time, that's cool. But thanks for your time. Hope you liked the gameplay. Hope you learned something about me. Find me in game if you want to try and squad up. My name is on the channel. Just find me in War Thunder and maybe we can play. But until the next video, take care.